What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Guess prodigal, not prodigals. Jezebels. Maybe the duality of the Jezebel, maybe problems with the Jezebel, whatever. Jezebels are interesting because sex sells. Because you have Jezebels are somewhat the type of women who they hate men, but they want a man to save them. You know, type of females who use their sexuality to get ahead, but say don't sleep on my brains, but never use their brains, or don't use their brains. They fall back on their sexuality when they get in the jam, not really thinking. I'm gonna get into it like this. Some girls have been messed up, whether they've been molested or raped or um, just done bad, treated bad. I don't really consider bad treatment like because people get treated bad. That's just part of life. But having something extreme happen to them that throws them off to distrust and dislike men. Now the thing about it is it's funny because a lot of the women I've seen who've been like this still want a man to come through and save them, which is a ironic irony. It's like a Mary Magdalene kind of thing. But how can I put this? A lot of times, some guys try to save these girls, and they get done in because for some women it's just a ploy to use a guy. For other women, that's what they genuinely want, but they've been on autopilot and hate toward men for so long they don't know how to turn that off. Um, the other thing about using sex over brains, right? See, even the most beautiful women who use their sexuality want to be taken seriously. But if they can't use their brains more than their sexuality, they're not going to be taken seriously. But they still feel like, you should give me that window of opportunity. Well, here's the thing. You can't expect that with guys because, like, we just not going to, in a jam, just whip our dick out. You know, this is how it all. Just get my rib page, just whip it out. Bang! It's not going to happen. I want to get out of the game. I want to get out of this trouble. Let me just whip it out. Bang! It's not going to happen. So that's something that. But it's one of the oldest tricks in the books, but it's very effective, especially against men because sex is a primal desire, primal need to a degree. So what happens is people appeal to sexuality, and this is a sexually starved society because it's so bad, but it's so good, kind of thing going on out here. Now, it causes a whole nother problem because now you have women turned off by sex, and it turns off their attraction to men, but then they get with the same sex and they still have the same problems. You know, like let me use a Jezebel. Like say you met, encounter, seen strippers, right? Dated one, whatever. I'm not saying I dated one. I'm just saying people who've dated one. You know, they expect them to be on as soon as they get home. You take off your clothes for money. You probably prostituting. You need to give me some of this action. Well, you gotta realize they've been with perverts all night, and they probably not in a sexual mood unless they drunk or high. A whole different story. But if they sober, they might be quite disgusted. So no, I don't want it. Okay, but you do it for everybody else. Okay, now they won't do it for you. So they get tired of men. He date women. What does women say? Why you ain't coming home and busting it open? You bust it open for everybody else. Like, why you can't do it for me? You should be freaky with me. You a stripper, for God's sake. And it's the same problem. So, you know, but we enable the behavior because everybody wants sex. And it's kind of like the Jezebel doesn't respect the guy who wants her body. But the guy doesn't respect the Jezebel because she only has her body to offer. So it's a disrespectful relationship to begin with, just on meeting, you know. But the irony is, it was never meant to be a relationship of respect to begin with. It was meant to be a relationship of convenience, exchange. So now you got guys falling in love with Jezebels because they thirsty, they sex starved. And you got Jezebels using shit out of guys to get ahead because they're thirsty for money. But the attention is addictive, which I'm gonna end with this in a sense, which is another problem. You know, what happens when these Jezebel sex appeal fades? Man, that situation blows up because now you're not wanted. Now you're not the hot thing. You know, then they're not starved. Then all the attention and the money and the disrespect that is going on back and forth, you're not even getting that no more. You're not getting a phone call. You're not getting a cat call. You're not. People ain't throwing their money at you. People ain't even worried about you. People ain't looking at you. Then it becomes wow, but they're addicted to that attention, like being famous. So when that goes away, it's depression, and ultimately most Jezebels are depressed anyways because it's not a fulfilling lifestyle, you know. So for the girls who want to go that route, that's what you do. But it's a hard road. Peace.